All right, everyone, buckle up. We're going deep today, way beyond the usual headlines and into, well, this incredible world of Hindu cosmology.
Sounds fun.
It is. We're diving into, specifically, some really interesting chapters from the Brahma Purana. And for those who might not be familiar, this is considered the first of the major Puranas,
right?
These ancient Hindu texts. And believe me, it's quite a wild ride.
You'll find that it's more than just stories, though. It really provides a framework for understanding the universe and our place within it.
I noticed the early chapters, they're heavily focused on genealogy, tracing lineages of kings and dynasties, super detailed. But then somewhere around chapter 10, things start to shift.
Exactly. The Brahma Purana transitions, you could say, from this historical kind of account to a cosmic one. And in chapters 10 through 15, you get this incredible, almost picture painted of the universe, its structure, the inhabitants, and even moral consequences of actions.
Moral consequences. Interesting. Yeah, that reminds me, chapter 13, I have to say, it got pretty intense with all those descriptions of hells. I mean, talk about attention grabbing. Can you give us a bit more insight into these realms?
Sure. So in Hindu cosmology, these are called naraka. And it's important to understand that they're not meant to be eternal damnation, but more like realms of purification. For souls who have, committed particular sins during their life, it's like a way for the soul to work through its karma.
So it's not so much about like punishment, but more like a cosmic cleansing process.
Exactly. The Brahma Purana, it actually gives us a detailed breakdown of which naraka corresponds to which type of transgression. For example, you have Rava, and that's reserved for those who have been dishonest or unjust in their speech.
Makes you think twice about what you say, right?
Indeed. Then there's Sukara, and this is a naraka for, particularly heinous acts, like harming a cow or a pregnant woman. And these descriptions are meant to be vivid and even a bit terrifying, to encourage people to live in accordance with Dharma.
Okay. So speaking of Dharma, can you unpack that a bit more for us? What exactly does that mean?
Dharma. It's often translated as righteous conduct, but it's really a much richer concept. It encompasses duty, ethics, and this idea of living in harmony with, the cosmic order. And what constitutes Dharma, it can actually vary depending on your role in society, your stage of life, and even your specific circumstances. It's really a lifelong journey of understanding, aligning yourself with what is right and good.
It sounds like to really grasp your own Dharma, it requires a lot of self-reflection.
Absolutely. It's not, a set of fixed rules, but rather this continuous process of discernment and striving to live in a way that brings, balance and harmony to yourself and the world around you.
After that deep dive into Naraka, maybe we can lighten things up a bit. Talk about those 7 continents, the Dvipas, described in chapters 11 and 12.
Yes. The Brahma Purana lays out this, grand cosmic geography. So picture this. At the center, you have Jambudvipa, the continent where we humans live, and surrounding Jambudvipa are 6 other continents, each one progressively larger and you could say more extraordinary.
Right. And I understand these continents are separated by some pretty unique oceans.
Oh, yeah, you could say that. So, for instance, you have Plaksha, and it's surrounded by, get this, an ocean of sugarcane juice.
Wow.
And then there's Kusha, encircled by an ocean of, clarified butter or ghee.
An ocean of ghee, that's certainly a vivid image.
It's very symbolic, of course, speaks to this abundance and richness of the universe. Now, focusing back on Jambudvipa for a moment, the Brahma Purana highlights a specific region called Bharatvarsha. This is considered the most sacred land within Jambudvipa.
So Bharatvarsha, we're essentially talking about ancient India. What makes this land so special?
It's described as the land of karma, where souls can work toward spiritual liberation or moksha. So basically, the actions we take in Bharatvarsha have a direct impact on, our spiritual evolution.
So it's almost like the proving ground for the soul, where the choices we make really matter.
That's a great way to put it. It's where we face the most intense challenges and opportunities for growth. And even within Bharatvarsha, there are more specific locations that are considered incredibly sacred, known as tirthas, or pilgrimage sites.
Yes. Chapter 15 really goes into detail about those tirthas. Were there any that really stood out to you?
There are so many, each with, its own unique significance. But a few that come to mind are Pushkara, associated with Brahma, the creator god, Prayaga, situated at the confluence of 3 sacred rivers, and Gaya, a place where rituals are performed to help ancestors in the afterlife.
I can imagine those places hold a powerful energy, drawing pilgrims from all over.
Definitely. Pilgrimage is, a significant aspect of Hinduism. It's about connecting to a lineage of spiritual seekers, purifying the mind and body, and seeking a deeper connection to the divine.
It's amazing how physical locations can become so imbued with spiritual meaning. But before we wander too far down that path, can you give us a sense of the overall structure of the cosmos, beyond just the continents?
Of course. So above the earth, the Brahma Purana describes a hierarchy of lokas, or worlds. First, you have Bhuvloka, the atmospheric region, and it's inhabited by many celestial beings. Then you have Svargaloka, the heavenly realm of the gods, where, well, those who've accrued good karma enjoy the fruits of their actions.
It sounds almost mythical.
Right, and it doesn't even stop there. Above Svargaloka are even higher realms, Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapoloka, and finally Satyaloka, each inhabited by increasingly spiritually advanced beings.
Wow. So there's like a whole ladder of existence with different levels of consciousness and spiritual attainment.
Exactly. And it's important to remember that even these heavenly realms are subject to time and change. The Brahma Purana emphasizes the cyclical nature of existence, a concept known as kalpa. Even the highest realms eventually dissolve and are reborn again.
So even paradise has an expiration date. That's pretty mind-blowing.
It really puts things into perspective. It reminds us that nothing is permanent, not even the realms of the gods.
Which makes me think back to this concept of moksha. It's not just about reaching a specific heavenly realm, right? It's about transcending limitations altogether.
That's a very insightful point. Moksha is about liberation from the cycle of birth and death, achieving a state of ultimate freedom and, well, union with the divine. It's a realization that our true essence lies beyond the limitations of time and form.
It's a lot to wrap your head around, but also incredibly liberating. Before we move on, I wanted to touch on something that really stood out to me. This image of the Sheshanaga, this giant cosmic serpent, and it seems like it plays a pretty important role in Hindu cosmology. Can you elaborate on that?
The Sheshanaga is quite a powerful symbol. It's depicted as this serpent with thousands of heads supporting the earth and all its continents on its back. And it represents, well, stability and divine support amidst the constant flux of the universe.
It's almost like a visual representation of the underlying order of the cosmos.
Exactly. The Brahma Purana connects the Sheshanaga with Vishnu, the preserver god, who's often depicted reclining on Shesha's coils. And it really reinforces this idea of divine protection and the cyclical nature of existence. Creation, preservation, and destruction.
A beautiful and awe-inspiring image. I think we've covered a lot of ground already in this first part of our deep dive, from the depths of Naraka to the heights of Svargaloka, and we've just scratched the surface. Welcome back, listeners. It's incredible to think, we're still just scratching the surface here of Hindu cosmology.
Oh,
Last time, we journeyed from those fiery depths of Naraka all the way to the, celestial heights of Svargaloka. And who could forget that ocean of ghee? Not your everyday cosmic feature.
Right. That's the Brahma Purana for you. Limitless imagination, incredible spiritual depth. Yeah, it really makes you consider, I think, the vastness of this universe and the intricate ways that it reflects our own inner world.
It makes you realize how much there is beyond our limited human perspective. It's humbling in a way. And speaking of perspectives, last time we talked about those different continents, the Dvipas, surrounding our own,
Right.
You mentioned that the beings inhabiting those continents, they were progressively larger, more powerful as you move outward. It makes you wonder what kind of creatures could exist in those realms.
Well, the Brahma Purana doesn't hold back when it comes to describing these extraordinary beings. You have to remember, each Dvipa is double the size of the previous one.
Yeah.
And that applies not just to the landmass, but to its inhabitants as well. So imagine creatures with lifespans that just dwarf our own, some possessing, divine powers, others embodying raw forces of nature.
It's almost like cosmic evolution, isn't it? Bigger continents, longer lifespans, maybe even superpowers. What's really fascinating, though, is the idea that these beings, they might not just be physically different, but they might even experience reality in a completely different way.
That's a really important point. The Brahma Purana seems to suggest that, as you ascend through these lokas, the perception of time and even the boundaries between the physical and spiritual realms, they start to blur. For these beings, time might not be linear as we experience it. The past, present, future, it could all exist simultaneously. And what we perceive as solid matter, for them, it might be fluid and ever-changing.
Mind-boggling, trying to grasp that kind of existence. It certainly makes this concept of moksha, lead tradition from the cycle of birth and death even more intriguing. If even the heavenly realms, are subject to change and impermanence, as we talked about last time, then true freedom must lie beyond these cyclical forms of existence, right?
Absolutely right. Moksha is not about reaching some specific destination. It's about transcending these limitations altogether. It's about realizing the eternal, unchanging essence of, our being, the part of us that's beyond time, space, and form.
It's a profound concept, and I think it's something that many spiritual traditions wrestle with, this idea of going beyond the limits of our current existence. But it also raises a question for me. If all these other lokas and beings exist, why are we here on Earth? What's the significance of our, human experience within this grand cosmic scheme of things?
A question that's puzzled philosophers and mystics for centuries, really. And the Brahma Purana, it offers, some intriguing clues. Remember how we're talking about Bharatvarsha being the land of karma? Well, it seems to suggest that our human experience is uniquely suited for spiritual growth. It's in this realm, with all its challenges and complexities, that we actually have the opportunity to exercise our free will, to make choices and then experience the consequences of those choices.
So it's not just about living longer or, experiencing reality in a different way. It's about learning through action, facing challenges, and using our free will to evolve spiritually. It kind of reframes the way we view our struggles and difficulties.
Absolutely. The Brahma Purana seems to be saying those struggles are not something to avoid, but rather the very tools that help us, refine our souls. It's through navigating those challenges, making choices that are aligned with Dharma, experiencing the consequences, both positive and negative, that we truly learn and grow.
It's a pretty radical idea in a way. Our flaws, mistakes, our very humanness, it's not something to escape from. It's the raw material, you could say, for spiritual transformation.
It's about recognizing the opportunity inherent in every experience. And remember, Dharma doesn't mean following, rigid rules.
Yeah.
It's about cultivating wisdom, compassion, making choices that contribute to the well-being of ourselves and others.
It makes you wonder if, maybe the purpose of life isn't about seeking constant pleasure or avoiding pain, but about embracing the full spectrum of, human experience as a kind of catalyst for growth.
The Brahma Purana definitely seems to support that view.
Yeah.
It's almost like the universe itself is designed to challenge us, to push us to evolve, to become more conscious, and compassionate beings.
So how can our listeners, apply these ancient concepts to their modern lives? It can feel sometimes so vast, abstract.
Well, I think the key takeaway is this. We're not isolated individuals. The Brahma Purana reminds us we are all interconnected. Our actions, our thoughts, even our intentions, they matter. Not just for ourselves, but for this entire, web of existence. It encourages us to make choices consciously, to cultivate compassion for all beings, and to recognize that even the smallest actions can have a ripple effect throughout the cosmos.
It's about understanding that we're all part of a much bigger story, a cosmic dance that's been unfolding, for eons. And our choices, our actions, they play a role in shaping that story.
The Brahma Purana, it really offers a kind of roadmap, I think, for navigating this journey. It's not about dogma or rigid rules, but about embracing these timeless principles like Dharma, karma, the pursuit of moksha. Even if you don't, subscribe to every detail of Hindu cosmology, the underlying wisdom, it's undeniable.
It's about recognizing our interconnectedness with everything around us, and realizing we have the power to make choices that contribute to the harmony and the well-being of the universe. Pretty profound and empowering message. Welcome back for, the final part of our deep dive into Hindu cosmology. We've explored continents flowing with sugarcane juice, clarified butter, ventured into realms of purification, and even gotten a glimpse of, heavenly worlds that, aren't exactly eternal.
Quite a journey, right? It's a journey that really stretches the imagination. But I think, at the same time, it brings us back to some fundamental truths about existence.
One thing that keeps coming back to me is this idea of interconnectedness. And it's not just a description of how, the universe works, but it's almost like this reminder that we're all part of this intricate web of existence.
The Brahma Purana really emphasizes that idea, doesn't it? It challenges the notion that there's this, objective universe out there, is separate from us. Instead, it suggests that we are active participants in this cosmic dance. And our very existence, it's intertwined with the very fabric of reality.
Speaking of interconnectedness, I'm really curious to hear more about some of the more mystical elements that we find in the Brahma Purana. We touched on the Shishanaga, but I know there's so much more to uncover. What other mythical beings or symbolic figures really caught your eye?
Well, one that immediately comes to mind is the Kalpavriksha, the wish-fulfilling tree. It's mentioned in several Puranas, including the Brahma Purana, and it's really this powerful symbol of abundance, divine grace.
A wish-fulfilling tree. Okay, now that's an image that definitely sparks the imagination. So is it literally about getting material desires fulfilled?
It's a bit deeper than that. I think the Kalpavriksha, it represents this potential for, spiritual fulfillment, for accessing those deepest desires of the soul, those desires that are in alignment with our highest good.
I like that interpretation. It's like this reminder that the universe is, inherently abundant. And if we align ourselves with that cosmic flow, well, those desires that are meant for us, they can manifest.
Exactly. And it ties back to this concept of karma that we were discussing, earlier. By acting in accordance with dharma, striving to live righteously, make choices that benefit ourselves and others, we create the conditions, you could say, for those desires, both material and spiritual, to be fulfilled. It's about aligning, our will with the divine will.
So it's not just a passive process of wishing, but this active process of, aligning ourselves with the flow of the universe.
Pretty empowering. Are there any other mystical figures that we should know about?
Oh, the Brahma Purana is just full of them. There's the Kamatenu, the wish-fulfilling cow, which represents nourishment and abundance.
Another wish-fulfilling creature. It seems like the ancient Hindus were really onto something with this whole manifesting thing. But seriously, it's fascinating, how these symbols point to this underlying belief that the universe is inherently supportive, wants to provide for us both materially and spiritually. Yeah. It's a powerful message, especially in a world where, we're often conditioned to believe in scarcity, limitation. The Brahma Purana, it encourages a shift in perspective. It invites us to see the universe as this source of infinite possibilities.
Almost like a cosmic pep talk. And it reminds me of that thought-provoking question you posed, earlier. If even the gods are subject to time and change, what does that mean for our understanding of our own lives and purpose?
It's a question that, deserves pondering. Perhaps it suggests that our purpose isn't about achieving some static state of perfection, but about, embracing the journey itself. It's about learning and growing through every experience, evolving with each cycle of, creation and destruction.
It's about finding that meaning, that fulfillment in the midst of, impermanence, realizing that our true essence, it lies beyond the limitations of time and form.
And maybe, just maybe, it's about recognizing that we too are part of that divine dance, interconnected with everything that is and ever will be.
That's a beautiful, beautiful way to wrap up this exploration of Hindu cosmology. I'm left feeling both humbled and empowered. Humbled by the vastness and mystery of the universe, yet empowered by the knowledge that we're not separate from it. We're integral threads in this grand tapestry.
It's this reminder that even amidst the complexities of life, there's this underlying order, this cosmic dance that connects us all.
And to our listeners, we encourage you to continue exploring these ideas, delve deeper into the Brahma Purana, see what wisdom you can find. And as you navigate the ups and downs of life, remember that you're not alone. You are part of something far greater than yourself, connected to a universe teeming with wonder, abundance, and infinite possibilities. Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey. Until next time, keep diving deep and keep seeking those moments of awe and inspiration that remind us of our interconnectedness with the cosmos.